The most corrupt one-liner ever sold to our generation. The most crappy wiki bullshit ever said and heard in our lifetimes was this straight rhetoric. And it's not even a superfluous one, it's a flat out dump. This one-liner that's been drilled into our heads since childhood, said by some special kind of idiot in the history, popularized by boomers and repeated ad nauseum until it became the gospel. And what is it? If you are born poor, it's not your mistake. But if you die poor, it's your mistake. That's a flat dumb assertion if I have ever heard one. And we as kids never cross questioned it. We never asked how and why, by what logic, by when did it become an unquestionable truth. I think these kind of one-liners are reflections of our worldview, the worldview of self-blame, of internalizing failure among the poor classes. A psychological mechanism to keep people grinding, to keep them blaming themselves instead of looking at the structure. Because let's be honest, society is a socioeconomic, financial hierarchy. There are financial classes, and beneath that, there is a biological hierarchy. The weak and the strong, the elites and the poor. The working class people whose only commodity to sell is their hours and their labor inputs. That's it. That's all they have. And if you take a holistic view, really zoom out, you will see the dichotomy of master and slave morality running parallel to wealthy and poor. I'm not talking about the rag to riches fairy tales here, those outliers like one in around thousands. Those lottery winners parodied around to sell you hope. The hopium, the most lethal drug ever invented by the mankind. When I say wealthy, I mean generational wealth, not over decades, not over centuries or millennia, like thousands of years. This inherited wealth always came from master races, dynasties, monarchies, bloodlines. And from there emerged higher culture, the culture of masters, and lower culture, the cultures of slaves. You can look at it through the Marxian interpretation, the class struggle, dialectical materialism, all that. But that does not show the whole, if not the whole, the other side of picture. I mean, it's incomplete, or it's a one aberration of looking at the nature of human existence. I would rather look at it in terms of morality and the races. Not race in the modern sense, but in Nietzschean sense, like how Nietzsche, from genealogy and philology, tracing back the roots of morality, looked at it. The genealogy of morals. The wealth was accumulated long before capitalism. That's what I have figured out. I'm not talking pre-moral era, um, before the agricultural revolution, before civilization emerged, before morality itself was invented. So here's the thing, the slaves, when they revolted against the master races were always brave, warlike, beautiful, and creative, hence strong. The slaves in their revolt invented morality to control the masters. Basically, the weak invented morality to control the powerful. This is where the internalization of guilt and bad conscience developed. It's a weapon, a psychological weapon. Coming forward to the present, my case is this. If you are born in a wealthy family, an aristocratic family with aristocratic values and master morality, by default, whatever you do in life, you will be successful. The system is not rigged. It's not some conspiratorial kind of game out there. The structure or the nature of existence is in your favor, and that's the reality. The network, the capital, the opportunities, the safety nets, they are all there. And if you are born in a poor family with slave morality, with resentment, vengeful resentment, with this scarcity, which is not even the cliche fluff word that you hear on social media, this scarcity mindset, but the scarcity reality backed into your DNA. You will never be successful in the life. No matter what you do, you can grind all you want. The deck is staked against you. But here's an insidious part. If you are born poor and you fail, it will be labeled and always be pointed out as your personal failure. A character flaw, a lack of discipline, a lack of hustle, your fault. But if you are wealthy and you fail, oh, it's a venture that didn't work out. A market condition, something collapsed. Bad timing. Never a moral flaw, never a character indictment. While on the other hand, if you fail being poor, it's gonna be personal and moral failure. You didn't want it badly enough. You are not lazy. Not you're not disciplined. You were procrastinating. You lack the mindset. That that's what that's what I would be told. Said on your face. So this whole sentence that dying poor is a personal mistake uh, is the biggest corruption that's ever happened to our minds of our generation. It's a psychological warfare. And this is without even mentioning that not every success is a monetary success, but but that's a matrix. That's the measuring unit. That's the only measuring criteria of successful individual among the financial poor class, the lower middle classes. You value a human being in monetary terms, in monetary, you reduce them down into a monetary unit. That's a weighing machine. That's how you are measured. That's how you are measured. Your worth, your dignity, your value, all reduced to a bank balance or P&L sheet. Now, coming back to the fact, the economic and hierarchical reality, even if you, when born poor, win a lottery or gamble and win a fortune overnight, and you will still not part of elite and wealthy class. You think money alone gets you in? That's a question. Think again. Neither the class nor the race comes from money or can be bought. The elites will never let you in their circles. You are still new money and just money. You are still an outsider, or that's one way or one line of thinking to look at it. And why is that? Because you're still coming from a slave race or a slave class with a slave morality. And what exactly is this slave morality? It's a vengeful resentment toward the strong, the creative, the beautiful, the powerful, and the warlike. Um, but in the bloodline, and not something created or constructed or earned. It's a bitterness disguised as virtue. It's everything opposed to the wealthy aristocratic race and the classes. Circling back again, if you are born in a wealthy family, you will be successful in life. If you are born in a poor family, you will fail in life, and that failure will always be labeled as a personal failure. Always. Now, holding this aberration, this holistic view in mind, let's come to the struggles of wannabe millionaire. The solopreneur who is grinding. You have tried pretty much everything in this hustle culture, the endless grind, the 18 hours day, the the sacrifices, but you haven't reached anywhere. But there is this hopium, the toxic optimism that all the efforts will compound and explode in the end, forming a J-curve spike. The J-curve, the famous J-curve spike, exponential growth, product market fit, scale. But if that day never comes, that's what I'm asking. That's my question. What if it's all a lie? This hopium that kept you grinding, that you will bootstrap the startup, but build the customer care base, the customer base, raise the funding, get into Y Combinator, and VCs and angel investors will appear like angels from the sky. Except the sky right now is bleeding, all in red, with no blue ray whatsoever. The funding winter is here. The market has dried up. You're out there pitching your product. You have tried every framework of the challenger sales. It's never worked, so you switch to a new one, the spin selling, then gap selling. But the gap is never filled, and then you keep telling yourself lies. Maybe I haven't tried enough. I'm gonna do it again with more repetition, more volume of cold pitches. Optimizing the landing page, A/B testing, perfecting the copy, tweaking the funnel, but nothing worked. Nothing ever works. And here another superficial, surface level thought comes in. Don't split your attention, stay focused, keep rolling, keep rolling. Isn't it like a myth of Sisyphus? Keep rolling the boulder up to the mountain and keep failing and falling and somehow find the meaning of life in that endless grind, which is going nowhere. Absurdism as coping mechanism, absurdity of existence as a coping mechanism. There is something called in managerial economics the crisis of competence. Another interpretation, you are out of money, you are out of runway, but what is the truth? Maybe the truth is pure silence. Pure silence. That there is perhaps nothing which will ever work. No framework, no hack, no strategy. You know why? Think for a second. If you were born in a wealthy family, no one would say you're lazy and procrastinating and not pushing yourself hard enough. Why? Why is that? Because you already have a healthy mind and a healthy body because you can afford a healthy lifestyle. Organic food, personal trainers, therapy, sleep. Your body is never weak enough to be called lazy. To act lazy are all these bullshit productivity hacks and tactics like eat that frog formula, Pomodoro technique, cold showers, 5 a.m. club, all of it. They never work. Because this very mindset thing is a myth, a complete fictitious thing, a fabrication. There is nothing as such mindset. More precisely, there is no such thing as rich mindset and poor mindset. The only reality is a wealthy economic reality and poor economic reality. If you are born in a wealthy family, you will always have a healthy body. You will have the resources to maintain it, to optimize it. But hustle culture and bootstrap startup bullshit sells you this hopium. Sacrifice your health so you can build a unicorn. Well, even a 5-year-old kid knows that unicorns do not fucking exist. They are mythical creature, fairy tales. So I'm saying all this. It's all about mindset. Hoax is a myth. When they say this sentence, it's all about mindset. It's a hoax, it's a myth, a pop myth of social media, a lie sold to you by the grifters with courses to sell. Tell me, what do you have when you born poor? Only one thing. Selling commoditized hours. That's it. Your time in exchange for money, a direct linear trade, no leverage, no scale whatsoever. And a false hope that one day you will break out of this chicken and egg problem and scale up into a company. But you cannot get customers without a product, and you cannot build a product without money, and you cannot get money without customer. It's a closed loop with no way out. And just because the truth will kill you, you keep living with this lie. Keep telling yourself a lie you have to, because the alternative is despair. Falling into a void of dread and nothing else, nothing beside it. And some special kind of idiot will tell you it's all about your luck. Now, because they have come to this realization that both the market economy, which is capitalism, and the nature of human existence is chaos, a random chaos. They haven't navigated into this chaos. They haven't embraced the chaos. They are turning their face away from the reality, while reality keeps slapping the same face again and again. Take a slap and then again tell yourself it's all about the luck. Keep rolling the dice. And then again take the slap and then again lie to yourself that maybe it's fate and luck. So, and what is reality? The fact that you are born to sell hours, that's it. That's your destiny. That's your function in the machinery. And then you tell yourself another lie. Oh, I have cracked another code. Value-based pricing. I'm not selling hours now. I'm selling outcomes. I'm selling results. You think you have figured it out. Well, my friend, even that isn't working for you, is it? So this loop of initial success and then repeated failures keep coming again and again. Small wins followed by crushing defeats. And with some unseen, unknown opponents. Hope followed by disappointment over and over. You know, the worst thing about your poor family, there is this sense, a kind of internally haunting sense, that all your pains and miseries are self-inflicted pains and self-managed destructions. That's your fault that you did this to yourself. But I ask, what if you were born in a wealthy family? What then? All of this wouldn't have happened in the first place by default or by design, by structure. It wouldn't have happened. Not just financial freedom, but creative freedom. Freedom to create something in life, freedom to take risk, freedom to fail without consequences. Even that is something you will never have. It's like that saying, you are an artist until the bills are paid. Then you are a wage slave again, then you are back to selling hours. So this was a monologue, self-talk, stream of consciousness, call it whatever you want. My question is, what are you waiting for? What's the reason for not giving up? Maybe there will always be something outside telling you, not just telling you not to give up, but something deeper, some kind of weird feeling that even if you give up, you will still be doing it again and again, even without zero visibility of where it's all going. You will keep riding, keep grinding, keep hoping. Maybe it's a physical fear, something bodily, the fear that your body will decay and decline with time. The rising cortisol levels telling you that you need one more high ticket client to buy the supplements to compensate for that deteriorating body to stave off the collapse. But this wouldn't have ever happened if you were born wealthy. None of this stress, none of this anxiety, none of this cortisol, and then you will blame the choices you made along the way. All those wrong decisions, all those missed opportunities. But here's the thing, all those wrong decisions would never have been made if you were born in a wealthy family. You are immune to financial mistakes when you are wealthy because you are protected with both psychologically and legally. You have lawyers, accountants, advisors, safety nets, bailouts, bankruptcies that don't destroy you. Second chances, third chances, infinitum. So this stupidest assertion told to us long ago that it's your mistake to die poor reduces the worth of human being to a monetary unit, a number, a credit score and net worth. But what if becoming rich or making hell out of money was never your existential quest? What if that was never the point? You did, you fail. How you, how did you even fail at not doing something you never wanted to do with your life in the first place? In the first place, you failed by. So here's the thing. This is what they tell you. You failed in life because you never did something. But how you even fail at by not doing something that you never ever wanted to do with your life at first place? Tell me. Tell me how that makes any fucking sense.